and welcome to Children's Message today. We're so glad that you joined us. Before we get to our new story, let's remember what happened last time. So remember, we had Gabe and Victor, and they were going to play a really mean joke on somebody. But Victor reminded them that God's forgiveness doesn't free us up to do mean things and then ask for forgiveness. It frees us up to make good choices so that we're not stuck doing things that might hurt someone else's feelings. So we're just really grateful that we have that forgiveness, so when we do make mistakes that we can ask for it, but that the forgiveness also helps us to follow God better. Okay, great. So in today's story, we're actually going to continue part of the story that we had from a few weeks ago with Jesus and his disciples. And as you might remember, before Jesus left the earth after dying and being resurrected, he helped the disciples to know what they were going to do after he was gone, which was to share the good news to the whole world. And he has some new instructions for them today. So let's turn in our Bibles today to Matthew 10, verses 40 to 42. And it reads as follows. Anyone who welcomes you welcomes me. And anyone who welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me. Suppose someone welcomes a prophet as a prophet. That one will receive a prophet's reward. And suppose someone welcomes a godly person as a godly person. That one will receive a godly person's reward. Suppose someone gives even a cup of cold water to a little one who follows me. What I'm about to tell you is true. That one is certainly to be rewarded. So let's see what this means today. So we have Jesus, and he was talking to his disciples who were getting ready to go out and share the gospel to the whole world. And they were going to talk about what they remembered in Jesus' life and all that he had done. And so Jesus said, anyone who welcomes you, meaning the disciples, anyone who welcomes the disciples welcomes me. And anyone who welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me. And who sent God? Who sent Jesus? It was God. So that's really exciting because when these disciples were welcomed in these settings, then that meant they were welcoming Jesus and God also. We also hear him say that suppose someone welcomes a prophet as a prophet, they will receive a prophet's reward. And suppose someone welcomes a godly person as a godly person, that will receive a godly person's reward. So let's remember what a prophet is. So prophets were people sent by God to share information or something, a message from God. And sometimes the messages were happy, but oftentimes it made people uncomfortable because it meant that they might have to do something different in their lives. So if people were open to the prophet's message, they could really be blessed. But if they weren't, then they might miss out on something really important. So hopefully we will be open to God's message, and the people around us will be too. So in the last part of our verse, we find that it says, suppose someone gives a cup of cold water to a little one who follows me. What I'm about to tell you is true, that one will certainly be rewarded. So when I got this cup of water, it came from the fridge, and the ice that's in it also came from the fridge, and it took about 30 seconds. But in Jesus' time, it meant that they had to go to the well, and they had to get it out of the ground and bring it over. And that was so much work. So if someone was willing to do so much work for a child, a child that was following Jesus, what a big reward would be for them. And so we realize that it's really important for us to share the message with everyone, but also to help people to feel welcome to hear it. So welcome is our theme for today. So let's see what happens in our cartoon for today. So let's read it together. Cannonball. Tag. Jack, is it? Hey, can I come in? Hey, don't we know that kid from school? Yeah, but we've never played with them before. Do we let them in? Obviously not. What? Victor, why on earth not? What do we know about this kid? Do they know the pool rules? Do they know any of our overly complex pool games? If we welcome them in, they won't be a stranger anymore. Then we can tell them all about that stuff. That's a pretty good idea, Ada. Welcome to the pool party, friend. I prepared a 12-part presentation for your convenience. So in our cartoon today, they were wondering if they should let in some new friends that they didn't know. And they found that they were kind of worried about it because they didn't know how they would act. But then they realized if they just explained things to them, then they could all play together and have a great time. So the same message is from our Bible as in our funnies, which is so good to welcome people. Now, in this time of COVID-19, we're trying to be creative in how we can be safe, but also welcome people to understand the gospel and to share it with them. So maybe it looks a little bit different. Maybe we're not welcoming them to play in the same way, but we are helping them to know that we care about them and that we can spend time together, even if it's over the phone or even if it's 6 feet apart. So before we end, let's put our hands together and pray. Dear Jesus, thank you for your forgiveness and thank you for welcoming us, that we can receive all of your blessings. Please help us to welcome people, that they can also know the love and the hope that Jesus has for us and for everyone. And please work in our lives to help us to do that. In Jesus' name, amen. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.